finally back. Welcome back, everyone, to a special edition of Sportsfellas.
Yeah.
Now, you guys, we are Sportsfellas still, but this time we have a special segment. Every week we're going to tune down the picks, and we're also offer a little bit of advice on fantasy. Hey, take our word for it, but we are not responsible if you lose. Just throwing it out there. All right, so this is our new segment. It's the Wild West. We came up with Wild West because three of our guys here, we represent the AFC West, and then we got this guy. Chris here.
Yes,
Chris
sir.
with the K here representing the AFC North with the Bengals. But before anything, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. Welcome to the new season of the NFL season.
Travis, thank you for having me back.
And it's your boy, Driston.
What's up, guys? It's your Buckeye believing, Rock Chalk Jayhawking, Houday hopeful, Captain Chris with a K.
And this is the new year. It's still Carlos. I mean, I don't know. That just
Come on, guys. I'm feeling out here on an island now.
I know. I'll get you. I might get you. We're going to do it. All right, you guys. We're going to break down the game pick of the week. And we're also going to give you a little bit of the insight. Now, this new fantasy pick lineup is called D&T, fantasy lineup. So we'll talk a little bit about who to put in your lineup. Before that, let's go ahead and give a quick pause and thank our following sponsors. All right, so let's go ahead and do a little bit of a recap. So last year's Super Bowl, we had the infamous here.
My Cincinnati Bengals.
Going against the Los Angeles Rams. It was a fun game. It was entertaining. I went for the Bengals. I'm going to go ahead and shoot you straight on that one. They just fell a little short. But, hey, it's a new year. This is a new year.
Give it another shot.
So, and then we had Driston's team here, the Kansas City Chiefs. They fell a little short. They gave you, you guys are like $1. You gave us 3 quarters, not the fourth quarter back. But it's okay.
Hey,
it's
man,
all right.
3 quarters better than 0 quarters. As you know, I don't know, Chargers, Denver,
Hey.
you guys.
Hey,
Hey,
shots fired. I didn't even.
Exactly.
I'm trying to keep the heartbreak warfare here kind of calm. He's over here going all out. But what can I say? Well, all right, you guys. So let's go dive in. Game one. Week 1 of the week. I can't even make sense. That's how excited I am, you guys, that we're finally back in the NFL. So, okay, first game, we have the Buffalo Bills visiting the Super Bowl champions, Los Angeles Rams. Start this off with you, Travis. Who are you going to pick and why?
I'm going to take Buffalo. I feel like the Rams are going to come back into the season just a little too cushioned after winning it. I feel like they're going to be too hyped up. And I feel like the Rams are just going to let this one go.
Man, I'm going with the Rams. I feel like they're coming back hot, ready to go after that Super Bowl win. They just re-signed Aaron Donald again. I feel like they're going to say, hey, we're going to run this back. They have a better defense, offense, and they're going to be on fire.
Well, I was going to give the line here, but my computer decided to shut down for a second. I'm going with the Rams, though. At home, coming off the big win, there's going to be a lot of emotion with the stadium just rocking as they, hang the banner for the Super Bowl. So, yeah, I think the Rams have a really good chance of just taking it to them.
This is going to be very interesting because the thing is the fact that the Rams they're getting ready to drop the banner, a lot of hype, a lot of intensity. But the same token, Buffalo's got this chip on their shoulder, and I think Josh Allen has recognized about all his previous plays that he gave up a lot of hits, and the thing is that he's going in with a purpose. So I'm going to take Buffalo. I'm going to go ahead and take Buffalo on this one.
I got the spreads up now. We got the Rams are +2, so the Bills are laying 2 at away. So that's pretty tough. They've got to win by a field goal away. That might be a one to take right there.
All right,
the Rams with 2 at home.
We'll keep an eye on that. Next game up, we have the New Orleans Saints going against the Atlanta Falcons. Chris, who are you taking?
This one's going to be interesting because both teams, you've got a lot of changes going on. I really have a little more trust in Jameis, even though there's not a lot of trust there. And the Saints do have a world-class defense on that side. So I'm going to go with the Saints.
Man, I'm going with the Saints. I think it's no question. The Falcons struggling with the defense. They have no receivers on offense and a new quarterback in, Mariota. And it's just difficult to pick Atlanta and where they're at right now.
I'm also going to take the Saints with their new receiving core, Jarvis Landry, Chris Olave. I feel like this receiving core is just going to be too much for that Falcons defense.
And Michael Thomas is coming back. Looks like he's going to start this week.
I'm going to go ahead and agree with you, Tristan. I mean, that's kind of rare that we agree, but I'm going to agree with you. Just simple it is. I think New Orleans is coming in a little bit more prepared. They have more weapons to offer. And Atlanta right now with all their changeup, I mean, they have their little weapons. I mean, Cordell Patterson, I mean, of course.
He's getting old, though.
But in essence, the thing is the wide receiver core of New Orleans is more of an upgrade than Atlanta. So we'll keep an eye on that. Next game up, we have the Cleveland Browns against the Carolina Panthers. Tristan, who you taking?
Man, this is a tough one. I'm going to have to go with the Carolina Panthers. Christian McCaffrey's coming back healthy. He's going to light it on fire. They got Baker Mayfield who's fixing to start, and he has a chip on his shoulder against those Browns. Taking, we all know who over him, Sean Watson. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a close game, but I got Carolina by a field goal.
So I've got the line is only 1.5. Carolina is laying 1.5 for Cleveland at home. And I know old Baker said, first he said, I'm going to bleep. What was that soundbite? I'm going to bleep them up. And then he walked that back, but I think he's still thinking he's going to bleep them up. So I've definitely got Carolina going in this.
I also got Carolina winning this one. I feel like Baker is going to have a very good revenge game against Cleveland. I'm going Carolina.
This is a tricky game because overall, I trust more the Browns' defensive line over Carolina. But Carolina, I mean, you still got DJ Moore, you got Robbie Anderson, and I feel that Baker Mayfield and Robbie is going to have a real great rapport, and of course DJ Moore. Now Christian McCaffrey is going to get a lot of the looks, but like you nailed it on the dot, and I don't understand how we're getting along, Tristan. I like this new year of you. You and I we're seeing things eye to eye.
I'm only spitting facts right now.
I like that. But your luck's going to run short. I already know it. So here's the deal. It's simple as that. I feel Carolina is a little bit more well equipped. I don't trust too much of who's starting. Is it Jacob Brissett starting? Who's starting for the Browns?
I think it's Jacoby
Yeah,
Brissett.
and he's not a QB1. He can get you a couple games, but man, 14 weeks, however long.
Baker, I just feel Baker's he's gonna look good in that Carolina blue. All right, so next game up, we have the San Francisco 49ers against the Chicago Bears. Who are you taking, Travis?
I'm going to take the Niners. I don't think Chicago's going to really have a strong season this year. I feel like San Fran's going to take this one away.
I'm going with the Niners as well. They still got a great team. Now Trey Lance is going to get in there, get some looks. But, yeah, the Bears really don't have much going for them besides new coaching staff. They still got really no weapons at receivers and not a very good O-line.
I don't trust did Justin Fields win? He's the one throwing that ball there.
Mm-hmm.
But then Trey Lance, I'm not even sure what he's got going on there in San Francisco. So I'm going to take the home team. And they're +7, so where San Francisco's -7, that's the line on them. So
this is an interesting game. No, I'm just kidding. It's the 49ers. The 49ers they outdo them on the weapon. Well, the thing is Kyle Shanahan, you cannot – he's such an offensive genius.
Finally got Nagy.
Okay. Let's don't steal the thunder of the 49ers. Here's the deal. As simple as that. You got to keep Garoppolo another year. That's fine. I can work with that. Trey Lance is more of the happy feet. He can get the ball out. The kid's got an arm. Let's see what he's going to do this year. And especially you got George Kittle back healthy. Mitchell's the running back, right?
Yep, he's going to be the starter, but I still feel like they have a running back by committee today.
And then, of course, Debo and Brandon Ayuk. So they're set. They'll be fine. So I think the 49ers will take care of this game. Next game up, the Pittsburgh Steelers going against the Cincinnati Bengals. We're going to start this off with you.
It's a 6.5-point line. The Bengals are the favorites, and I think that they will cover that and maybe then some. I think they're not going to miss a step off the postseason. That's certainly my hope, knocking on wood, fingers crossed, all that good stuff. So, yeah, I'm taking the Bengals.
Oh, yeah, I'm taking the Bengals, man. Mitchell Trubisky's starting, and although he's not terrible, I feel like he's not the franchise QB. We'll just see how Mitchell Trubisky does, but even if he does good, it's the Bengals, man. Great defense, great offense.
I'm also going to take the Bengals. Steelers, Joe Burrow versus Mitch Trubisky. You got to take Joe Burrow. And the Steelers have been having some injury problems recently, so.
Great points, you guys. Again, I'm going to go ahead and take the Bengals. I just feel that they're young. They have something to prove. They came short in that Super Bowl, so if they want to get back, they know what they got to do. They got to put in the hard work, and first things first, knock out your divisional rivals. So
shout out to Big Eric on this one.
Oh yeah, we
He
will
needs to
discuss.
he needs to come defend that team this weekend.
Definitely. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. We have the Philadelphia Eagles visiting the Detroit Lions. Tristan, who are you taking and why?
Man, I'm going with the Eagles. Now, simply because I just think their offense is better with A.J. Brown on that. I feel like that's going to help relieve so much pressure off everybody else and help Jalen Hurts a lot. And it's the first game of the season. The Lions just still have to pick it up a little bit in a rebuilding mode, but yeah.
I'm also going to take the Eagles, mainly because I'm ready to see Jordan Davis play. I'm excited for what he's done, especially in training camp. So, Eagles.
I would. I don't know. This is going to be really close. I would take the Eagles if it's straight up, but the line is about 4 points, and they're playing at Detroit. I think Detroit's a better team than a lot of people give it credit for, just their history, and I think things are coming along pretty well. Like I said, I think straight up they would lose, but with 4 points, I think it's going to be a close enough game that if you're a betting person, you could that'd be maybe a good one to look at.
I was thinking about this real quick. Of course, Philadelphia's defense has got a lot to prove this year. I mean, they look pretty scary on paper. But then I looked again at Detroit. Offensively, they look great. And we'll see where it goes. But I'm going to go ahead and give the home team a little slight advantage.
Yeah.
I'm going to dice it up a little bit.
I think
I'm
they're
going
to be better than people think.
We'll just have to see where we're at on
better
that.
record than last season.
So, Detroit,
Not hard.
this year, Detroit, I've heard you guys, and you guys are on my radar. I'm going to be rooting for you guys, okay? So, my heart goes out for y'all. All right, next game up, we have the Indianapolis Colts against the Houston Texans. Travis, who you're taking?
I'm taking Indianapolis. Houston has probably little to no chance against Indianapolis.
Definitely, I agree. It's definitely Indy, man. Better offense, better defense. Like, what more can you say about that?
So it's a 7-point. Indy is a favorite, 7-point. It's going to be, I think this is another one similar to the Detroit game. It's a home game for Houston. I think they're a little better than people give them credit for. They're still all NFL players. I don't think they have quite enough to pull off the win, but I do think they have enough to make it a 3 to 5 point game. And right now it's a 7-point line. So, again, if you're a betting person, that might be something to look at.
Not bad.
We need to get some hashtag sports bets, man. It's going crazy here in Kansas, getting legalized. And as it goes across the country.
We're not sponsoring that. We are
No,
not.
not sponsoring it. I'm just saying a hashtag. Everyone's searching it.
Here's the deal. I mean, again, Houston has got a lot to rebuild on and going forward, of course. Starting off with new helmets, the new alternative color helmet. All right, that's a start. You got that rookie running back that they got. That kid's he's awesome to watch. During preseason, I was watching film on him. Guy's pretty good. So they need is a solid quarterback, a little bit more help wide receivers, and then they're on the roll on the long haul. But no, the Colts are still going to run. I think this year the Colts are going to battle Tennessee for the division. So we'll talk more about that later on. So we got next up, we have New England against the Miami Dolphins. Justin, who are you taking and why?
I'm going to take the Dolphins on this one. I think they're a little underrated, even after all the off-season pickups they made. I feel like they're still underappreciated in that division. I feel like they could finish second in this division with who they got. And Tua just needs to adjust, get better. But I'm going with the Dolphins simply because, I want to.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the Dolphins this year. I think they're going to do pretty well. I think they're going to start out strong, and I think it's a 3.5. They're actually 3.5 point favorites in this game in their home. I think they always, no matter who the coaches are, always give the New England Patriots a tough game. So I think this is a year that they pull off one of those big upsets and start it off right. So, yeah, I'm going Dolphins.
I'm also going to go Dolphins with Tyreek, Mike Gesicki. I mean, they got a solid receiving corps, so I feel like that's just going to be too much for New England's defense.
This is very interesting. I think this year we're all – you've mentioned some great names, but I think we're going to look at Tua because he's going to be the answer to figure out, okay, is he really a true quarterback? Is he really going to do? Of course, got to represent Roll Tide. We got to do it right. But the thing is in this league, you got to throw the ball. There's just no way around it. And the thing is if something's not going on right, we're going to probably see some changes in Miami. But for now, I think with the weapons that Miami is bringing in, I think they'll go ahead and take care of New England. All right, so next game up, we have the Baltimore Ravens against the New York Jets. Chris, who you taking?
Oh, and I just was looking at that. I missed the spread.
You're fired.
I'm out. It's a 7-point spread with the Baltimore Ravens being the favorite. Again, this is another one that's at home. I think the Jets are improved. Robert Saleh is a pretty good coach. I don't believe that Zach Wilson's playing, though. I think he's been said
Mr. Joe Flacco starting.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting with his history against Baltimore. So maybe that 7-point spread is fair. Good old Joe Flacco. You remember him from Denver, right? So anyway, I would go I got to go Baltimore on this one, even with the 7 points.
Oh, yeah. I'm going Baltimore, man. Everybody's healthy this season. What can I say? It's Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm also going Baltimore. They got a lot of people coming back from the injuries. Marcus Peters, Marlon Humphrey. I don't know if
Dobbins.
J.K. is he back?
Yeah,
Dobbins is back. Okay, so yeah. Baltimore, they're going to be fully loaded to start off, so I'm going with them.
The Ravens are very interesting to look at this. So they're the dark horse team right now because with the controversy with Lamar's contract, everyone's coming back. I mean, we did get cursed a little bit with the mascot going down. I thought that was a premonition, but we're praying for him. Hope he's doing well because we don't want him to go out. I mean, he's the mascot. You need him. Make fun of me all you want, but he's still part of the 54th, not 53-man roster. It's 54. Baltimore's got this. The Jets still finding their identity. I hope one day they can come back to prominence in New York because they need to be back. It's been a long time that they've been even a force. So, we'll see how it goes. Next up, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars going against the Washington Commanders. Travis, who are you taking?
I'm going to go Washington Commanders. This is a little surprising, but their receiving core, okay. They got Terry McLaurin. They got the new rookie, Jahan Dotson. I feel like it's going to be the sleeper team to watch in the NFC East. So, yeah.
I'm going with Jacksonville, man. Travis Etienne's back, so there's a lot of hype around him, and then they got some new weapons. And I think just right now they look like better on paper to me, and I think that, how they've been doing in the preseason. I got Jacksonville because Washington, they're still going to be like fourth in their division, so.
Well, and Washington are 2.5-point favorites. And so, obviously, Vegas thinks this is a pretty close game as well. That's what those odds kind of tell us. I would go you both make some pretty good arguments. But I'm going to go with the Jaguars. I really like Doug Peterson as a coach. I think he's going to have Trevor Lawrence really on point this year. So, I think I'm going to go with the Jaguars and take the points.
Here's the thing with the Jags. The Jags added more wide receiver weaponry. And right now, they added that. He's got a rookie running back, right? There's a new rookie running back.
Second year. Etienne's a second year.
Okay. Yeah. Now you got a new coach. He's familiar with the NFC East. He knows that setup.
Yeah.
So that's to an advantage. And also, too, with Lawrence, I think this is going to be a good year for him. He's going to do some things that we weren't ready for. And, I mean, that can give the owner, kind of more of a worth his investment because right now Jacksonville has been a mediocre team. So they need something. Because what was it? Was it 3 years ago?
Blake Bortles.
This guy. Wasn't it 2-3 years ago they went to the AFC Championship? I mean, they looked. And then
3 or 4. That was Blake Bortles.
Yeah, that was
Blake Bortles and what's his name?
Jalen Ramsey. Leonard Fournette. They were stacked, man.
Man, those were the years. All right. So, I'll take Jacksonville as a surprise. All right. Next up, we have the New York Giants visiting the Tennessee Titans. Driston, who are you taking?
I'm taking the Tennessee Titans. They lost some people, but they still have Derrick Henry, who I feel like is going to come off strong, especially since they lost A.J. Brown. I feel like they're going to rely on him heavily at the start of the season to see what their new receivers are going to do. And, it's still the Giants. They're not as good as the Tennessee Titans, man.
I'm also going to go Titans. I feel like Derrick Henry's going to come back more refreshed since he left with a foot injury from last year. So I feel like Derrick Henry's going to come back stronger.
Yeah, I've got Titans as well, straight up. They're 5.5-point favorites, so they're going to have to win by 2 field goals or more if you're covering the points. If you're a crazy New York fan that you've got delusions of grandeur, maybe take the 5.5. But, yeah, I think Tennessee at home. This is going to be a close one, but I think they're going to pull it out with a touchdown plus at home, run it with Henry running the ball, and just a defensive game.
That's kind of funny you said that. I think this year Tennessee needs to work on the defense because when they played against your Bengals, they gave up a lot of good opportunities, and then they just kind of let up on the gas. And
Well, not everyone can kick a 56-yard field goal in the playoffs.
Harrison
that
Butker
is true.
can.
This guy.
But he's right, not everyone. That's why the Chiefs are so good.
Okay, well, hey, let's go ahead and edit that part out, what he just said. But here's the deal. Simple as that. Tennessee, if they want to stay on top of the AFC South, they got to start racking up these wins, minimize the errors, and Coach Vrabel should be on the ball on that because right now, Derrick Henry, after that injury last year, and he came back, I mean, yes, it proves that he's the identity of that team, but still, everyone else needs to step up if they're going to make a push in the playoffs. All right, the next game up, we have Dristan's team, the Kansas City Chiefs,
baby.
against the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to go ahead and let you kick off. Tell me who's going to win and why.
Oh, I think this is obvious. It's going to be the Chiefs. And now, I'm not just being biased, but Arizona, they don't, of course, DeAndre Hopkins is out for 6 games. They don't have D-Hop. I think Rondale Moore, I think he's questionable, if I'm not mistaken. And so they have Marquise Brown, which is like their only receiver, basically, on offense. So they're going to have to rely heavily on running the ball, which I feel like the Chiefs have a pretty good run defense. And, man, it's the Chiefs. What can I say? It's a dub.
I'm curious. So there are 6-point favorites. Would you say they're going to win by more than 6? Would you
I
take
say we're going to
that?
win by 14.
Yeah, yeah. There's a good chance. I mean, Arizona kind of fell apart when they lost D-Hop last year, and they don't have Chandler Jones now, and so
And one of their corners is hurt, who was going to be like the starting 3.
so yeah, it could be interesting. I'm going to go Chiefs. I think they could, if they start hitting, it's going to get ugly pretty quick. I think, and I don't think Kyler Thompson's going to earn his money in week 1.
I'm also going to go Chiefs. Losing Chandler Jones was a big hit for that defense, and I don't think Zaven Collins and Isaiah Simmons are going to replace that.
You know, my corner here, this corner, he was cooking. I don't know what he was sauteing, if he used the wrong oil, but he had a real nasty accident and burned his foot. It was like a 2nd-degree burn.
Yeah, 2nd degree.
So you got him out. Chandler Jones is out. And then you got Kyler Murray, got this big paycheck, and now his weapons is only Marquise
Guaranteed.
Brown. And then now you got James Conner taking it up again. The problem is they're just overloaded with talent. And yes, I have to hand it to him. You cannot discount Patrick Mahomes. He is the face of the NFL. He's an elite player. We got to see him play. The guy's phenomenal. I mean, he's just good. Not good, but he's like Tony the Tiger. Great. I mean, and you can't copyright. Copyright. That's okay.
No.
Yeah. So the thing is, the Chiefs, this is going to be their first start, and I think they'll start off with the game 1 win. But then we look forward to next week when they do come back home, visit the Los Angeles Chargers. So that's going to be a different story. But for now, we'll go ahead and give the Chiefs the win on this. Next up, we have the Las Vegas Raiders visiting the Los Angeles Chargers. All right, I'm going to start this off with you, Travis. Who are you picking and why?
Obviously, I got to take my Chargers. I feel like this game is going to be down to the wire, either final touchdown or final field goal to win the game. I feel like Brandon Staley is going to do the same thing as last year and push those 4th downs to go for it, and I feel like a few of them will work in our favor at the end.
Yeah, it's a 3.5-point game, so obviously it's a close game. The Chargers are the favorite right now in Vegas to win by more than a field goal, which is tough. I think the Raiders are considered one of the best improved teams from the offseason, but I think right ahead of them is considered the Chargers and the improvements they've made. So this is going to really be a big signal and a big forecast for the AFC West. I'm going to go with the home team in this. When you've got a big opening game and there's a lot of emotions, the crowd is so super into it. if they can have a crowd out there in LA. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Chargers on this one too, man.
You have to pick one, Tris.
I know, I know. Yeah, I have to pick one, but it's the Chargers, and I feel like they got a much better defense and all the weapons they still have on offense. So I'm going with the Chargers by like a field goal on this one.
This is going to be a great game. This is the best example of the good, the bad, and the ugly. And yes, Tristan, you're ugly. Here's the deal. Amazing AFC West upgrades. I mean, Khalil Mack finally comes back to the AFC West. That helps the Chargers. They've got already, Mike Williams. He's starting to become an elite wide receiver. And you got Keenan Allen. You've got great backups for Austin Eckler. You got Kelly. You got Kelly and then
Joshua Kelly and Sony Michel.
Great there.
Right.
And then on the Raiders side, I mean, you got Devontae Adams. He comes back to play with his buddy Derek Carr. I mean, defensively, their line is good. I still don't like their secondary. Their secondary is real sketchy. After that game last year against Kansas City when Mahomes figured out, hey, we can just throw the ball against these guys. Now, here's the deal with Denver. My team, Denver. Looking at this game is going to give us an idea where we're going to stand. But for now, we're focusing on the Chargers and the Raiders. I'm going to go for the slight edge for the Chargers because I feel a mistake is going to be made. I'm going to call it out. I think a mistake is going to be made, and Justin Herbert this time around is going to say, hey, I'm going to be selective on what I'm going to do. I'm not going to go guns blazing. I hope the coach this time around figures out, okay, hey, let's just try to rack up points and let's just lock down on defense, which you got Khalil Mack. So you got him and Boza there. Oh,
yeah,
that's going to be a
crazy.
nightmare.
It's going to be nasty.
All right, so I will give the slight edge to the Chargers. Next game up, we have the Green Bay Packers visiting the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to say I really like what the NFL did with scheduling this year and having so many divisional matchups. Now, not everyone's doing divisional matchups. KC's not, obviously. Denver's not, which is going to lead me to my second other thing that I really like that the NFL did this year with their opening season. But on to the Green Bay and Minnesota. Talk about a close game. 1.5 point Green Bay favorites in Minnesota. That is tight right there. 1.5 points. So I think Green Bay is going to win this one. Minnesota's got the new coach, and they still got Kirk Cousins. So I don't know. That's what I'm full. And Aaron Rodgers, man, he rules the AFC North. So until someone knocks him down, I got to give it to him. Just like I got to give the West to Mahomes. So.
Man, I got to go with Minnesota on this one. I feel like at the start of the season, they got a bunch. Green Bay has receivers that need to prove themselves. Say, hey, it doesn't matter if Devontae Adams isn't here. We can step up. We can fill his role. And it's Aaron Rodgers, I agree. But, man, on the other side, you have Minnesota. They're going to be more pass-heavy this season. Justin Jefferson's going to, in my opinion, he's going to be phenomenal, one of the best wide receivers. And they still got a decent defense and, it's going to be close, but, man, I want to go with Minnesota on this one. I think they're going to come out strong and get a divisional win to start the season.
I feel like Green Bay is going to win this one just because of the fact of Devontae Adams. When he left, I feel like Rodgers has got to prove that he didn't need him and will rely on his veteran wide receivers to pick up this extra.
This is very interesting. I'm gonna just, for all the purple people eaters out there, here's the deal. Minnesota, they're at home. Kirk Cousins is somewhat still a mediocre quarterback, but he's got such awesome wide receivers. Adam Thielen. You got Osborne. Osborne, he's here and there, but Jefferson, of course, and then Dalvin Cook still a beast as a running back. The thing is with Green Bay, they do so well at home against Green Bay, barely. But this time around, Minnesota, especially Kirk Cousins, they're going to have to figure something out. Because right now, if Kirk Cousins does not get them over the hump, Minnesota's going to be calling for his head. And they're going to be like, you know what? We need to get young. We need to get young. Because right now, this is their division for the taking, because Green Bay has ran it for a while, but this could be their year. I got Minnesota winning the division this year.
Me too.
So
Agree with that.
let's keep an eye on that. All right, Next game up, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. Tristan, who are you taking and why?
I'm taking Tampa Bay. Tom Brady's back, and I don't think he's going to regress. I think he's going to be just as good as he was last year. They still got all the receivers. They still got Leonard Fournette in the backfield. Still got that amazing defense. Everything just lines up for them, bro. They're still a playoff Super Bowl potential team. And as of right now, the only receiver they really have that Dallas really has is CeeDee Lamb because Michael Gallup's injured or he's out this week. And besides that, I don't really know if Zeke's going to do too great. And, I'm going Tampa.
I'm also going Tampa. Their additions to the wide receiving core is just too good. They got Julio, Russell Gage. They also got a really nice rookie running back. And they kept their amazing defense still, so I'm going Tampa.
All right, let me tell you young men something. When mama's not happy, nobody's happy. And right now, Tom Brady's got an unhappy mama. And it's going to affect him a little more than everyone knows because they get in your brain. I am going, if I can keep everything down, I'm going to try to say it. I'm going to take Dallas in this one. They are 2.5-point underdogs. I think that it's not. I don't really think that it's Giselle that's going to have any issues with Tom Brady. I really think he's going to have some line issues. They replaced like three quarters or so of that line, and I believe a center got hurt in training camp, and so Tom Brady is not exactly, if his line's not there. So that's why I think Dallas is going to take it, and I would take the points. I think they're going to win by 3 or more.
There's people listening.
I know. I said that in public. And
you're going to have all
hide.
these Dallas fans excited. I'm not driving to Frisco, Texas anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? Here's the deal. As simple as this. Dallas there's a big question mark. Big question mark. Is Zeke really the guy? Is he really going to really take the team? Is he going to fulfill what he needs to be doing? We don't know. Wide receiver core, you nailed it. CeeDee Lamb, really? I mean, he's not even elite.
Whoa. He's elite. I think he's an elite receiver.
I would say he is.
No, I don't think he is. I'm going to say it right now. I think Amari Cooper was better receiver than he was.
I might agree with that, but I'm not saying he's not a.
He's not top 10.
No, not top 10,
okay.
but he's a top 32. I mean, he's a starting receiver.
50. But anyway, top 50.
That's still a starting receiver in the NFL.
But here's the deal. I think you cannot count out, Dak. Dak is a good quarterback. Mm-hmm. He's a good quarterback. It's just that really now you got the thing is with Tampa Bay, they added more weapons on the offense. And then they brought in a little bit of veterans here. I mean, I think they signed a 1-year deal to Hakeem Nicks. He's not bad. I mean, he's reunited with JPP. And the thing is that Tampa Bay, if they want to go back to the promised land, go back to the Super Bowl, they're going to have to focus on the line, like you said. They got to focus more on the pass rush. They got young key players still there. Like last year's championship game, we saw, especially when they were trying to guard Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp was destroying those corners. And so
Cooper destroyed everyone's corners.
Yeah, you got a lot of like your guy. Anyways,
it wasn't just us. It wasn't just us. Wasn't just Tampa. That was all year long.
But here's the deal: Tampa Bay, if they want to go back to the promised land, it's going to start Sunday going forward. All right, you guys. Now we are here finally for the game of the week.
Oh, it makes you happy, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, and it's brought to you by Sierra Pacific Mortgage. Contact our friend Taylor Cross for your mortgage needs. His number is 316-648-2508 or go online and schedule an appointment with SierraPacificMortgage.com. Thanks, Taylor. So the game of the week, we have the Denver Broncos visiting the Seattle Seahawks. This is new. It's different. We're going to see Russell went from a forest green to orange.
Orange and blue.
Orange and blue. Orange crush. So I'm going to start this off with Tristan. Who is he taking and why?
I feel like this is a no-brainer. It's going to be your Denver Broncos, man. They got a great offense now that Russell's there, and Man, look at Seattle. I think PFF has their offensive line like ranked 30th. They have a terrible offensive line.
Isn't that one of the reasons Wilson wanted out of there? He was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I can run, but I don't want to
He
have
doesn't
to
want to.
every single time.
Yeah, they have a terrible offensive line, you know.
But they got Geno Smith.
Geno Smith is their starter, and they don't really have a great defense. Like, every aspect of that Seattle team it needs improving compared to Denver, who y'all have a solid defense, y'all have a solid offense. This should be an easy dub for you guys.
I'm also going Denver. Russell Wilson's getting his revenge game. Seattle, Geno Smith versus Russell Wilson. You can't take Geno Smith, so yeah, Denver.
And Vegas has Denver up 6.5 points as the favorite, as away, which is quite a bit, and the big 12th man crowd there at Seattle. So I don't know. That's definitely a gamble in my opinion. I think Denver's going to win it by more than 7 in my point.
It's kind of like that game when Peyton Manning went back to Indianapolis. They weren't really booing him. They were like cheering him on because of the years.
You got to, right?
Russell was very involved in the Seattle community, and they're going to miss him. But it was a family affair inside of that organization. Russell Wilson, one of the key things, we need addition on the lines. He had no say in that. It was Pete Carroll and the owner, and when they kind of got tired of Russell, I bet you CRS like, I don't want to be here no more. I want to go somewhere different. And so they said, hey, let's go to Denver. Now, the Denver thing, we all know that Denver was trying to get Aaron Rodgers. We were trying to get Aaron Rodgers. When we got wind that Russell Wilson.
There was only about 3 teams that weren't trying to get Aaron Rodgers.
But when we got wind of Russell Wilson, we had to get him.
3.
And now that it's a great destination. We have great wide receivers going in. I mean, we have a up-and-coming tight end that's there. I can't say his last name. It's a long last name. I don't even know. We got rid of Drew Lock. You know, we had to give away some picks, get rid of Noah Fant. Here's the thing with Denver. Denver, if we want to conquer the AFC West, besides trying to get some wins, I'm just going to put it out there. It's got to be the Chiefs first. Chiefs are the big dog. We got to knock them out. We haven't beaten them for so long. We got to go after them.
In 6 years.
6 years. That's ridiculous. And then after that, we got to play with the middle child to figure out with the Chargers, figure out where we stand with them. And then at the end, it's the Raiders. But this game is getting ready to start us off with the season. I mean, I'm not concerned too much with DK Metcalf. I mean, because he's a beast. He's a beast wide receiver, but he's notorious for dropping the ball. I'm more curious to see what kind of hair color he's going to have. If he's going to go neon green, is he going to? It's just that you got Patrick Surtain. He's getting experience in, and then also our defensive line. I mean, you got Chubb. I mean, he'll
Geno
cover.
Smith's going to be punching some people in the locker room after this.
He's going to
remember that. Anyone when he was.
But Russell Wilson, I think all eyes are going to be on
him.
Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, they're going to see what he's going to bring in. So, all right, that's pretty much concludes the game of the week. Let's go have a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
What's up, folks? It's your pal, Chris with a K. Let me introduce you to a new friend of mine, Ryan Wagner at Wags Sports Memorabilia in Des Moines, Iowa. Your number one source for sports memorabilia. We're talking hats, t-shirts, jackets, and all sorts of other items. And not only that, Ryan can get you any of these items for any team, NCAA, NFL, NBA, and the Major League Baseball guys. So make sure if you're in Iowa, and especially Des Moines, stop in at Wags Sports Memorabilia. Also find them on the web at www.wagsports.com. Thanks, Ryan. You guys have a great day.
All right, we have a new segment, DT and K. This is the first time we're going to do a fantasy pick lineup, and what we're going to do is we're just going to give our opinion on who you need to put in your fantasy. So it's just your opinions and why, and if we see some results, we'll keep it going. So this is a trial and error. I'm going to start this off with you, Travis. So in your lineup, who would you pick and why?
Who would I pick? Some key players that I would pick to have in your lineup would be Lamar Jackson. I feel like he's a strong quarterback to have because he can run the ball. He'll get you extra points for rushing touchdowns, and he can throw the ball a little bit. And then key sleeper for this year will be Damian Pierce, the rookie running back from Houston. Usually most teams that people do in fantasy football won't draft him in the fantasy draft, so picking him up after the draft is a key sleeper to pick up.
All right, this week I got a sleeper for you guys. I'm gonna go with Darnell Mooney. Maybe not this week, but he's a sleeper, and I look forward to him to the end of the season in the playoffs. I feel like he could be a big help because he's definitely their number one wide receiver. They got a new offensive coach, so they should be. I have high hopes for Justin Fields getting him the ball, and I feel like he'll be a really big player this year, maybe top 15 wide receiver. So maybe not this week because they're going against San Francisco, and they still have to adjust this season. But, man, he is looking good for me, bro, and I feel like he's a must-have on your lineup.
Okay, so since the season hasn't started yet, I don't get into the sleepers much until I start seeing, who the third string wide receivers that are filling in, people start getting hurt. But I'm going to give you a couple because I do extremely follow the Cincinnati Bengals. It's an addiction. I'm sorry. So I'm going to give you a couple of sleepers off of that team that I think are going to have pretty good years that are more than likely available in most leagues. The first one, which is probably my top sleeper, would be Hayden Hurst. He was originally a first-round draft pick, tight end. He's tight end. Sorry, I didn't say that. Hayden Hurst, he's tight end. First-round draft pick for Baltimore a few years ago. After they got Mark Andrews, he kind of fell out of fashion there. Went to Atlanta, had a pretty good year, about 900 yards one season, 4 or 5 touchdowns. Then he kind of fell out of favor when they took Pitts. Yeah, Kyle Pitts, the big tight end last year. And so, again, fell out of favor. So he's got Joe Burrow thrown to him. He took C.J. Uzomah's spot, and, that was around 600 yards, I think, 6 touchdowns, something like that. And so they're expecting a few more 100 yards and maybe a couple more touchdowns than that out of this Hayden Hurst. He's really fast, moves almost like a wide receiver out of the tight end spot. So Joe Burrow likes those, and the other guys are going to be double teamed. So that's the big one. The other one, a little running back side, he's going to be returning kicks. So if you get points for that, Chris Evans for the Bengals.
All right. Well, hey, you know what? This is the obvious one. We're going to do the obvious and sleepers here. The obvious, Patrick Mahomes. I think he's going to have a great game on Sunday. So that's if you got him, hey, you guys, you struck gold there. Also, Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler is a great running back, and he's going to get a lot of carries. So on your sleeper side, he may not be considered a sleeper, but to me he is. Adam Thielen. Him and Kirk Cousins have a real good rapport. And Mark Andrews, tight end for the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah. Lamar and him have had great rapport. I know if you got him as your tight end, he's up there. I know with Travis Kelce, of course, he's another guy. But the reason why I give Mark Andrews the sleeper, it's because last year we saw that was the go-to guy. When things were against the wall, when it was just like, what are we going to do? Mark Andrews came through.
And Lamar Jackson loves him, and he had several games without Lamar, and
it's kind of like it's like the Mahomes to Kelce, and then
for sure.
It's Jackson to Andrews. So that concludes the game of the week.
Can I actually add one more?
Oh,
I want to add this one because I was looking at my lineup and I saw this, and CeeDee Lamb.
Oh,
let's say this. What are y'all talking? The Dallas Cowboys are a pass-heavy offense, right? CeeDee Lamb's their number one wide receiver.
He's the number one.
They
option.
have no other wide receivers because Michael Gallup's going to be out. Very talented, and I feel like when he comes back, but who else is he going to throw to besides Dallas Goedert?
Dalton Schultz
or Tolbert if he gets some more reps in.
Still, I agree. CeeDee Lamb.
Like I feel like CeeDee Lamb's going to get a
lower
lot of
in fantasy,
points.
a lower number 1 and high number 2 receiver for sure in your lineup.
I agree with that. Low number 1, high number 2.
I'll give you that.
Because, man, you said he was an elite, and I think he is an elite receiver.
You still give him top 10?
I would say. Top 10 is low number 1, maybe top 12.
I give him top 15, top 12, somewhere around there. I think he's an elite receiver, and I think this year with the not having any receivers, he's gonna produce a lot of points.
All right, I'm gonna hold you to it. So that concludes our show of the week. Now we will have Sports Fellas, the regular Sports Fellas show. So your favorite shows, Mano on Mano. Will Dristan repeat?
I don't know. We're gonna mix it up a little though.
We'll take a look.
We'll see. You guys, thank you so much. Enjoy the week 1. We will come back on the next episode. We will do our introductions of college game of the week, which is, we'll go ahead. Let's start it off. Alabama visiting the Texas Longhorns. That's going to be the college game day of the week.
Shout out Buckeyes.
No, you guys barely won, so that's irrelevant.
Boomer Sooner.
Definitely cut it out. All right.
You don't want a Bulldog shout out, do you? That was not a barely win.
Before we leave, any final shout outs before we go?
I'll give a shout out to my buddy Avery. Give a shout out for him for Saints fan.
I'll give a shout out to my girlfriend. This is her first year doing fantasy football. She has a good lineup. We'll see how it goes for her.
She'll probably whoop everybody's butt. That's what happened when my wife played the first year she played. She had no idea, and she wound up winning. So I want to shout out my wife, Pal, and Eric. Thanks for all the work you guys do.
Of course, the guys behind the scene, Powell and Eric, thank you so much for the things that you do, because without you guys, we really couldn't really get this thing going. And you guys as well, thank you so much for making it happen. This is a new year, and we're going to break new barriers. And to the people that are listening, I got to be as quick as possible. I just want to say, from the West Coast, I want to say shout out to my friend Marie and her family. Hope they're doing well out in California. My friend Brandon. Brandon, hope you're doing well in Vegas. And then, of course, in Colorado, we have Gabby. Hope you're doing well. You know, she's coming off winning because she's a big Rams fan. So, of course, she got that. Much love there. And then we got our Cowboy fans. You cannot forget your Cowboy fans. God, I see you. The Brooks family, of course, big Cowboy fans. And then moving on over, Roll Tide. Kiki, hope you're doing well out there in Alabama. And, of course, I thank my friends in general. Thank you guys again for what you guys do, and we look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode. We're out.